The couch. The couch. The couch. The couch. The couch. The couch. All right. Well, this is the couch. Welcome back. My name's Tony. This is Gary. This is my man Kevin. He's filling in for Dion here from Fidel Red Star Black Day. Really cool group. A couple of cool groups out there. We are actually reviewing the Goodie Mob's new album, Age Against the Machine. So, let's get into this, guys. Personally, me, I wanna throw out a disclaimer first off that I feel like I had too high of expectations for this album. I think that knowing I was heavily inspired by Goodie Mob's Soul Food album. I think it came out in '95. I was heavily inspired by that album, and it changed my life ultimately. You know what I mean?
Dungeon Family in 1990. What?
1995, I think it was.
Yeah, 1995.
Yeah.
They're at their height.
Yeah, and they were at the height of their career. The whole Dungeon Family, that whole Southern explosion was happening right then, you know? And so I was really like, yeah, man. I'm with my man Kev. I was like, hell yeah, this album's gonna be dope.
Straight up.
And then after that second track came out, I was like, oh man. And it just seemed like it was forced a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
It was very much, I think, CeeLo ran the show, man. It seemed like it was CeeLo featuring Goodie Mob.
Imagine that when they came out with a record saying "One Monkey Don't Steal the Show."
And now they got
behind him, like.
And now they got one control. And I can't say that that's what it is. I can't say that.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like 14 years later, and that's what you come out with. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna say it was horrible.
Right.
It was bad. But it has some spots where I did dig it.
Yes.
You could see some old Goodie Mob.
Yes.
In there.
Like 3-second little spots?
Yeah.
Like little itty bitty spots?
Well,
like microscopes?
Father Time, you know. That was,
Right.
Okay.
The content of that song was dope, and the beat.
Right.
Not saying that you got to go back to Soul Food or Still Standing.
Yeah.
Man, with all the dope producers out there now, I felt like if you're coming back out after 14 years, you just want primo stuff. I feel like they just took my man Walter down the street. You know what I'm saying? Like I just started making beats, so here you go, bro.
I was actually looking at the production credits on that, and to be honest with you, and I might be, ignorant.
I think CeeLo produced track 2.
Well,
you know,
it did look like CeeLo.
Yeah, you know.
It did look like CeeLo did produce a few songs on the record, but I'm not that familiar with any of the other producers that are on that album.
It's like what was it? The Gray Area.
Yeah, the Gray Area and Big Phrase or something like that.
Yeah.
Get Cool, Young Frey.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with those dudes at all.
Who's Jack Splash?
Man, I'm not all that familiar with these guys, man. And the production was okay, and I think that it would have popped off a little better if it was another group.
It would have popped off better if they were at a Broadway setting. And
it was funny, man. We were actually talking about this before the cameras got rolling. I think that all of us agreed that this album did sound very cinematic, if you will. My man Kev said it sounded like a Broadway musical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I actually thought that it was kind of that late 70s weird movie kind of soundtrack.
What was the movie that you were calling? Xanadu?
Xanadu, like it belonged to Xanadu. Like it's all like...
I was waiting for Julie Andrews to come out. Sound of music, man.
It wasn't, man. I didn't enjoy it at all. There wasn't very much.
It seemed like if you could visualize it, like some Cirque du Soleil, it may be decent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To put that.
It's funny that you say that, man. I was watching this LasVegas.com commercial, right, on TV, and it had an excerpt with CeeLo in there, like he's running a show out there, and behind him is his compadre, is the Goodie Mob.
Oh, so they're showing it on the Vegas thing. And
so I got the impression from watching this commercial that maybe that's what they're doing. They're doing like Vegas showcases, you know? And this album, and then knowing that, putting those two together, this album kind of reflects that a little bit.
Like they setting up for a Vegas run?
That would make sense.
They're going to have flying trapezes and stuff going on. That's what it sounds like.
Goodie Mob
the album's like that. Yeah, Wayne Newton. Hey, guys. You know, like...
I was very disappointed with this album. Even being disappointed, I think I was able to kind of pull out a couple things out of the record. You know what I mean? I thought that track Colors was pretty dope.
I can dig that.
When they started out with kind of the spoken word poetry style, and then going into the lyrics, and it was. And one thing I do want to say, even though we are kind of bashing this, and Kevin and I were talking about this, is that this album is actually heavily filled with content.
Yeah.
It does have a lot of really dope content in the album, but for me, man,
I don't think
They didn't deliver it well though.
it didn't convey.
Didn't match
Yeah.
what was trying to be said.
And they had to go so
And
far
it
from
wasn't
their.
cohesive.
Yep.
I think they had to
They're
go
all over the place.
They had to go so far from themselves.
Yeah.
You know that it just didn't sound like good. You could hear their voices. That it was Goodie Mob.
I kind of
But-
thought it's old Father Time catching up with these guys. The only guy that I really thought the only two guys that I thought that kept their chops within the past 15 years was Cujo and CeeLo.
Yeah.
I really felt that Gipp caught a brick on this album, and I felt that Timo caught a brick on this album as well, man. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do a background check on that Soul Food, Goodie Mob Soul Food album for real, just to kind of go back on it, man. You know, I think that how monumental that album was really kind of persuaded me to think that to give me an opinion about this album. You know what I mean? It's nothing even near Soul Food.
Oh, I hold that in my mind. Soul Food's up here.
Yeah.
And this one came in, you know, like scraping, bouncing off the ground underneath, you know, like.
Soul Food was real light. I mean, you could
Word.
relate to it. It was entertaining, but it was still speaking to you. Like,
Word.
man, so
Word.
we can get up here too, building dreams,
I can dig
be
that.
aware, you know what I'm saying? But this, even with the content, you're so disturbed by
Yeah,
the
distracted.
music.
Yeah, the music is just off, man.
Yeah, you're just
And I really like that Broadway musical style. I do see these guys, you know, doing all of these.
at the World,
Yeah,
at
they
the
got
World
lights.
Arena though.
They got
Not
lights and
bumping
shit
to
on
your
them.
stereo while you roll
Yeah.
it, you know what I mean? It just doesn't have the same
I honestly
effect.
think Goodie Mob's gonna come out with dance routines and shit.
I don't think they're gonna come out with anything else after
I don't think
this,
so either. I
honestly.
think that the guys might have been hurting back at home and needed a new record to boost the finances back up, and they just kind of.
I think they're gonna blame CeeLo.
Yep, for this travesty of an album. You know, I was listening to the album, and a song that really stuck out to me on the album was Power, right?
Yeah.
And what I thought about that track Power was it sounded like some Danger Mouse production. It really reminded me of Run from Gnarls Barkley, you know what I mean? Run away, run away. It really reminded me of that and that Power. And like, is dude saying white power?
Yeah, I think it's
That's
like
what that was.
white
It's-
power.
I didn't know it was
Oh.
white power or white powder. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
power. The song's called
Yeah.
Power. So
all right.
it's
We're-
definitely white.
We're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go on Rap Genius or something like that and figure this out. If somebody knows, one of the viewers, please hit us up at the couch and let us know if my man CeeLo is saying white power.
Yeah, I think it is because he's like, now I understand why they call it white power.
Yeah, I remember that line. Yeah, jeez.
But maybe we didn't go deep enough into the song, and it was really hard for me to go real deep into these songs because I was like, "Are you fucking serious?
The music.
Like, are you fucking serious?"
Another track. One of the weakest songs that I felt like were on the album was the lead single, I'm Set. I think they took a sample off of the Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, the original,
the original.
70s movie. That's
Yeah,
why
the
I'm saying
original.
it sounds like it's from a 70s
It does.
soundtrack, you know?
It does really convey that cinematic Broadway-esque feel to it. You know what I'm saying? It really does, man. So when we were talking about the album, we all linked up. We all were like, "Ah, man!" But what song was the one that stuck out for you the most? That just was just terrible for you?
Amy?
Why is that?
Amy? Dude, that shit is... And you know what? To be honest, at first I was like... Because the first verse is like an 80s style, and I was like, okay. And then they bust out into this first white girl I ever had, back to the 70s show, you know, like...
Does that upset you, people?
What? The song is garbage, though, and it's just...
I was just fucking with you, man.
Yeah, and who just came? Someone just came out with a song talking about the first white
The
girl.
White
I
Man
had.
Dingo's actually.
And it was a dope track.
I actually like my
They're
first
dope.
white girl from White Man Dingo's way
Yeah.
better than this Amy.
And this
track.
is Amy is garbage. It's got
Dingo's
sound
Yeah, they are
change-ups that are garbage, you know. And then
Yeah.
it's cheesy and it's bad and it's just
like you said, it's so cheesy that it could have had a good message to it, but you're so busy like.
Yeah, like puking in your mouth.
You're insulting me with this stupidity right now. That I don't even want to listen to the rest of the song.
I can dig that, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I was extremely turned off by that one track. I was like, man, and the message I got from that track was that it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you're the right person. I think that they had a feature on there from V or somebody that had a feature on it, and she was spitting some lyrics talking about you don't have to be a yellow man or a white man, just the right man. Something like that, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, that was the underlying message. They could have done that a little better, though, I feel.
No, I feel what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And like I said, like I can't express this enough that the album, the record is oversaturated with content. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that we can pull away and be like, oh, okay, I understand. But man, it's just not done.
Yeah, it's not done.
Well, even the content needs to be, I think, organized better too.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Yeah, there's a message. I mean, we can make 50 million albums with messages, but what are you trying to? You can't be all over here.
All over the place.
I think
all
it was
Spaceland.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
And I think I was disappointed in all aspects of this album. Like, even there was spots where I was like, the mixing could have been so much better.
I did hear some songs. I can't remember the song right away off the top of my head, but I do remember some songs where I heard CeeLo and he was in the background of where the beats were. Maybe it was the quality of my.
That second track, it was ultra loud.
Yeah. The beat was really loud, and you couldn't make out the vocals. Yeah, and I was like, man.
And I think their beats were so over the top. That Broadway, what we were talking about, that they don't have the vocals sometimes.
Hello, my darling. Hello, my Clementine.
I got a message for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man. You know, and especially when it's a good point. Especially when you are trying to bring a message across. I gotta hear you, man.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Today's technology and mixing, mastering, and the people and their fucking Goodie Mob, CeeLo Green. They could have got somebody that knew what the fuck they were doing a little better.
Told you, walking down the street, just start making beats and start mad.
But it's on the levels,
yeah. They went down like. I would have understood it in '95.
No, I hear you.
You know that they went down the apartment, down the hall, knocked on the door.
They were in the dungeon. They were in the basement. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And
I would have understood it then, but now they should be in a big
time period anyway. Back in the day,
right?
And they wanted that sound.
Yeah. And maybe that was something that they were trying to recreate with all these over-the-top beats and shit, Okay, so we're doing a little bit of bashing. One of the tracks that I liked off of the album, again, was Understanding, featuring V as well. I really liked that track. A message did get conveyed in that one as well. And I thought that those guys went in on the Pinstripes joint with T.I. I thought those guys actually went in. The beat was a little bit more cohesive and more street, I guess, or you know what I mean. I'm not even a street music dude, you know what I mean. But it was more cohesive. The beat was, and I thought that since T.I. was maybe on the track, they had to kind of pick it up a notch.
Plus the fact that he just sent him a Christmas card like they.
You know what I'm saying? On the real.
Yeah, because he was the bright spot.
Yeah, and I'm not a T.I. fan. I'm not a T.I. fan, really. Honestly, I'm sorry, but for him to be the bright spot on a T.I. or on a Goodie Mob album was sad. It was sad to me. This album was sad to me. I was disappointed.
It was a very disappointing album. I think that they had a feature on there from Janelle Monáe, who just dropped a record last week.
Yeah.
And Janelle Monáe is ridiculous.
Oh, I'm with you.
She is ridiculous, and I did not get her conveyed in the album at all, man. I didn't feel her at all.
I don't even think she was conveyed.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, yo, man.
Some of the shit seemed forced, right?
Yeah.
It seemed like it was forced.
Come on.
Yeah. Just do it. Just do it.
Midnight when it was due. Just
do it. Like, hurry this up.
Yeah.
You were hearing that coach thing.
Yeah.
Just trust me type of thing,
Right.
Well, like CeeLo, I don't even think he's won on The Voice at all. So maybe they should have got Blake Shelton.
We gotta go along with the album, huh?
Yeah.
I can dig it, bro. I can dig that. All right, man. So we kind of bashed this album.
Yeah, we talked about it too much.
I tried to pull out a few good points of the album. Does anybody have any final notes on this one?
No, I just want to rate it.
I mean,
move on to the next one. This isn't working for shit. Let's.
What are you rating this album, bro?
I'm gonna be generous.
1 to 5.
I'm gonna be generous at 1.25.
Wow. So 1.5, huh?
1.25, man. 1.25.
Kev, what do you rate this?
I mean, there was some spots that I liked, so I have to give it a 2, but definitely very low 2.
Yeah, low 2.
Yeah, like a 1.99.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll take my. I think I rated it as a 1. I'll go ahead and rate it as a 2 as well. And I have to put the disclaimer out there is I think that we are disappointed with this album because of how monumental Soul Food was to us. It had nothing to do with Soul Food, and it just didn't.
The fact that you have 4 talented MCs, like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what I'm saying?
So that's all I have to say about this album is wow. I'm thoroughly disappointed with this Goodie Mob's Age Against the Machine. What did you guys think? Did you like it? Let us know. What should we review next on this? We're going to do a background check in a little bit here. And we'll see you in a minute.
Up to God, cause there was dirt on it. Took a hammer, found a block, and went to work on it. The same place where civilians turn savage. Rap, rape, and pillage for their rights of passage. The art of war is bloodshed, splashes on the canvas. Life is literally all penitentiary chances. And you can tell when someone's taking Illuminati advances. By the company he keeps and the way he dances. You got to have heart, cause hate the feelings in between the buildings. And contract killers got them hanging from the ceilings. Corporate America in a cubicle complacent. Only a few floors up from